I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
It's actually the first time I've done that in a while, where I left the thumbnail up. But yes, my name's Henry Confidential. This is Movie Debate. Don't get me wrong. I'm shocked, too, that there's literally no other entity called just Movie Debates out there. But my name's Henry Confidential. We have a good one in store for us. Everyone always says it, but I actually mean this because it's two people that are just chill as F, but also very passionate about a couple things that we're going to talk about today, as well as just some unique premises and stuff. But before we get into our players, I have my two judges with me. I have Chad Webb and Eric Moreno. Chad, what are your thoughts on just judging in general, as well as judging the match between Tato and JPO?
I'm actually really excited. Eric Ibarra, by the way, right? Or is that your last name, Moreno? Oh shit, I forgot. Sorry. Yeah. So I'm actually really excited because JPO is really good. I faced him, and he's really tough. And he almost beat me and made me sweat a lot. I've never faced Tato, but ever since Tato started, he was really not great, and then he's one of the best competitors that has increased in his ability. And I've always been impressed with him ever since. And I've just been watch out for Tato. There was one point where in the other league, they were doing a tournament, and I was because I didn't know Tato actually wasn't in the tournament, but I was he's a sleeper to actually win the whole thing. I think when he's really on his game and you're not expecting Tato, and you sleep on him and stuff like that, he'd come from behind and really knock you out. So I'm excited to see these two guys because I know they're both passionate, and I think it's gonna be a really fun fight.
There you go. And Eric, newer to the debate, concept, but what are your thoughts on judging this one?
Yeah, I never had the chance to play, nor even judge, so it should be fun. As soon as I heard, these two are going to play, this is going to be fantastic. I've been a proponent of never sleeping on Tato. Tato's fantastic in everything he sets his mind to, and JPO as well. He's fantastic, has a great poster behind him, as you'll see in a second, and it should be fun.
Don't sleep on Tato. As soon as he stops sipping on the bottle, he's been dogging these streets, MCU champ and all that stuff. But let's go ahead and get to them right now. First up, just because we were mentioning him right now, JPO's name is first on the poster, but we'll go Tato first just because you're talking, and you were just at the bottom on my StreamYard. But Tato, compliments. It's very weird for you getting compliments now. Are you able to accept that yet? Do you feel like you're getting overrated, underrated, still slept on? And just what are your thoughts on this match as a whole, despite potentially one question?
Yeah, don't worry. I'll peel the expectations back with this one. Now I'm here to have fun as usual. Morning. It's a good time for all. Like we said, one question might get a little hairy, but we'll see. And the rest of the questions, I think, are going to be really fun. So even if one question goes a little askew, and not in the fun way,
Heyo,
we'll still have a good time here tonight.
There you go. And then we have your opponent, JPO. JPO, king of where are you at? That's weird. There it is, with his lag. Hopefully that doesn't affect the debate. But overall, what are your thoughts? You got about 2 minutes of prep in. How you feeling about that? How you feeling about Tato? And how you feeling about just the VAT? Are you going to treat this debate like a Deadpool Logan? Are you going to split us? Each vote, or what?
I've come here to chew bubble gum and kick ass. And I got plenty of gum, so the kick ass part might have to put to the side. So we'll see.
There you go. All right, so let's go ahead and get it started. So as always, we are going to start now with the unbiasedness. So Tato or JPO, you're first on the poster, so we'll go with that. Do you want Bateman or Guy?
Oh, okay, guy.
Shoot, it's been a while since Guy. Do you want to go? Do you want to close on questions 1 and 3 or 2 and 4?
I'll go 2 and 4.
So closing, just to be clear, because I know in Battleground it was always opening, but closing is the advantage. So you want to close on 2 and 4?
No, 1 and 3.
Okay, yeah, there we go. See, all right. So we'll be opening with Tato on 1 and 3, and then closing with JPO on 2 and 4, or 1 and 3. Anyway, all right. So here we go. We're off to a great start. Question number 1. As always, for the 1 minute rounds, I'm just going to stay off screen, and when you begin talking, I will have the timer rolling, so I don't need to do you just to save time. So with that said, question 1: who would you cast as Rocky and Adrian today if Rocky came out today? So all right, we're gonna start with Tato when you begin speaking, and the timer will be in the battle.
Alrighty. So to start off, I'm changing a couple of things off here. Instead of Philadelphia, we are going to Baltimore. And instead of the Italian stallion, we are dealing with the Greek freak, Stavros Halkias. One, I think this makes a lot of sense because exactly like Sly at the time, Stavi is in a similar small scale of the entertainment industry, just waiting for that breakout role. With Sly, it was porno and theater. With Stavi, it's podcasting and comedy, which, let's be real here, if you're trying to break into big film, same thing, basically. Um, 2, we just saw Stavi play that down on his luck character in Tires, which, while being a silly comedy, actually does have some nuggets of great acting from Stavros. There's a scene where he has to tell Shane that they're losing their jobs. There's a bit where he's telling the story of a mouse with 2 broken legs fighting to survive. It's a very Rocky metaphor. And going along with him as Adrian is Sam J. I'll get more into that later.
Just go or
Yeah, you got to face Stavi. Deal with it.
want me to just go? What am I doing? Just go. All right. Wasn't sure. New league, new format. Hey, there we go. There's a timer. I feel like I'm gonna kill Tony. Anywho, Tato gets the reference. So if you're talking about replacing the new, an old Rocky and Adrian, replacing with someone new, we already have the perfect choice. It's out there. It's literally it's probably everyone's mind. Milo Ventimiglia. He literally is Rocky Jr. We met him in Rocky Balboa. We met back up with him in Creed 2. We love the guy. You ever seen This Is Us? You want a man that can make you cry, laugh, do all the emotions that Rocky movies want to hit you with? That man checks off every box. And you know what? Speaking of This Is Us, Mandy Moore is a new Adrian because she has shown that she also has the gravitas, the vulnerability. That's a good-looking couple right there. Tell me you don't want to see these two on a big screen smooching when he corners her and goes, "You don't gotta kiss me, but I'm going to kiss you." Because that's what Rocky says in the first one. It's kind of creepy. But anywho, if you've seen him too, and this is That's My Boy, you know he can get jacked and ripped. You know he can get into fighting spirit, unlike some people's picks. They're beautiful. They are Americana. They are the new Rocky and Adrian. Thank you.
All right. So now, like I said, before the fight, I wanted to leave it out there because I wanted to get the setup. But just how it is behind the scenes, because it's the first time we've ever done it. This prompt is the satire round. So obviously take that however you want. And I just wanted to set that template just because, that's what we're doing. So with that said, 5 minutes whenever you guys speak. And then when 1 minute will pop up when there's 1 minute left. So first one speaks.
Well, I gotta know who Sam J is, Tato. Who's Sam J? Because you didn't even get a chance to tell us who that is.
Yep, I'll get there. Thanks for setting me up there. With the casting of Sam J, most people might, probably know her recently from the Tom Brady roast. And she's also in You People.
The seventh best person on that show. Yeah.
Sure. Any which way. So the casting of Sam J at the Tom Brady roast, we saw her delivering the heat and the passion that you need from Adrian in later scenes and such. But also, if you look at her in You People as the calmer foil to Jonah Hill's shenanigans, it is very similar to Adrian and Rocky's relationship in the way that she supports him there. And also, Stavi and Sam have great chemistry. They are friends, like they know each other in real life. You can see their chemistry.
That's not necessarily chemistry. You can see it on a podcast where they're talking. You don't see any love there. You see, and that's the problem with trying to cast Sam. Sam's not going to ever be in love with Savios. Like, if you had maybe, that's just troublesome casting right there.
Are you putting Sam into a box in which she can only play lesbian? Is that what you're trying to do?
I'm saying you put them into a box that you're trying to give them leading roles all of a sudden, or like these two have proven. So far, Savios has proven they can maybe be a small character, the fifth on tires.
I mean, like, what about let's see. Let's take two comedians like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. Let's put them in a series.
Yeah, and they prove themselves.
See how well that plays.
Cool, yeah. And by that time, what did Martin Lawrence have? Several years on a major hit TV show, just like Will Smith had several years on a major hit TV show. They had proven themselves.
But Sly hadn't proven himself before Rocky.
No offense. Stavios is about to be a boxer. Come on, Tato. Come on, it's cute, but come on.
Have you not heard of Eric Esch, aka Butterbean? Like, fat boxers exist, bro. They happen.
That's not the story. You're making a whole new story. If you casted the Butterbean story, I'd be like, wow, points down here. I'm literally giving you Rocky Jr. You're in love with him already here.
You're giving me a 46-year-old. I'm giving you a 35-year-old.
Okay, you're giving me a 35-year-old that's in the shape of a 70-year-old. I'm giving you a 46-year-old that's in the shape of a 25-year-old. So mine is still a better pick. He'll be in way better shape.
Because Rocky's around. Yeah, because Rocky's boxing style does not lend itself to Milo Ventimiglia's. No, Rocky's boxing style does not lend itself to Milo Ventimiglia's athletic body. That body lends itself more to a Creed boxing style. You cannot
get into an argument with me about.
No, Rocky's boxing style is all about taking punishment, and that's what Savi's body is built for.
Again, if you cast the Simpsons episode where Homer takes all the shots as a boxer, yes, you would win. But you are casting Rocky. You are casting someone that needs gravitas and you want to root for. You're gonna just laugh the entire time. And you're never gonna take this seriously.
Yeah, I'm casting an underdog, a believable underdog.
No, Rocky you're casting the greatest underdog. You're casting you literally said it yourself, Butterbean. I said Homer.
Yeah, Butterbean's not a joke. He's a legit boxer.
But if you know for a fact, if you made a movie called Butterbean, no, you're not taking it as seriously as a Rocky movie here. There would be humor to it. You would cast a Paul Walter Hauser or a Stavios here. I'm literally giving you somebody that can carry a franchise that America already loves. That can actually be a legitimate boxer here. No one's gonna laugh at my thing. Your poster is no one's even gonna believe that's a real movie until it comes out. They're gonna go, "Wow, they actually went ahead and did that." Maybe I'll watch it for free on Tubi. My movie's gonna sell millions of tickets.
All right, it's the underdog story. On Stavi's little podcast. No. Mandy Moore. Mandy Moore hasn't acted in 10 years either because she doesn't want to or because she
hasn't acted. I'm sorry. So her Golden Globe nominated performance was a fiction of my imagination? What are you talking about?
What are we referring to?
This Is Us, the smash hit TV show that literally was like the number one drama.
Sorry, excuse me. She hasn't been in film in a decade. Excuse me.
And exactly. So this is the perfect time to strike because she is hot. She is red hot coming off of that TV show.
Alrighty. I don't buy that Milo Ventimiglia and Mandy Moore are in any way underdogs. That's a big thing. If you try to make Mandy Moore Adrian
Jr.
But that's just like that doesn't make any sense
now you
either.
Gotta live up to the legacy. Did you see what David Flair did with Ric Flair? Did you see what David Sammartino did to Bruno Sammartino? Where did they?
Yeah, but I'm assuming this doesn't exist. Like if Rocky came out today, we're not having to live up to a legacy because, like, I guess I don't know. I didn't take this question as
and time. All right, so Tato, 1 minute closing when you begin speaking.
I cast comedians in this role because I recently saw the Bad Boys franchise, and I think it's a great idea to put more comics in serious roles because comedy is all about timing, and that's what great acting is all about too. So I would like to see more.
No,
Um,
you're jumping the gun by trying to put them in this kind of role here because you need again
Hey,
Sylvester Stallone.
he's closing. Relax.
Oh, okay. Oh no, okay. I got distracted by the thing. Go fuck yourself, Henry. My apologies to Tato though.
I ain't go fuck myself. It's literally the.
All right, I also froze up. Henry, suck a dick.
we're good. We're good.
First of all, I'm literally running the show, so you fucking chill.
No, I'm just saying you can be fucking polite and we're on to the
No, it's literally a format of it's
I
a
fucked
closing
up. I'm
role.
sorry.
You
Yeah,
fucking chill out.
USA. Much like Bad Boys, USA, and much like Bad Boys, I think these comedians would be great in these roles. If you try to make Mandy more Adrian, you're just gonna get she's all that. You take Sam J as she is now and cast her in the Adrian role as Adrian is in the beginning of Rocky, and her glow up with the charisma that we know she has works. Milo Ventimiglia, like I said, Milo Ventimiglia more Creed. Is that my time? Sorry, Milo Ventimiglia, more a Creed style boxer, whereas Savi's body lends himself more to Rocky's boxing style. It just makes more sense for Savi. Mandy Moore, I was wrong. I neglected to look into her TV, but she hasn't been in a film in a while because just like for whatever reason she doesn't want to, or people decided she wouldn't be great at it. And like Savi's more the underdog.
Was I muted that whole time? Oh,
Yeah.
I was saying before I started. Also, I was apologizing to Henry. I had a whole nice thing I just said to you, by the way. So I swear I was being nice. Milo, Mandy, again, they I think are the Americana. They are the real couple that could lead a movie here. You just named two really fun side characters here. Want to put maybe Stavios as the new Polly. You want to have Sam as the buddy because so far that's all they've proven that they can do. I'm not saying they couldn't possibly do more, but again, just show me where, show me how that this isn't going to be anything more than a spoof movie, as if you're doing, Scary Movie 7. Mine, I think you could truly have someone that's in shape that you believe would be a boxer that's trying to live up to a legacy that has a very organic story here, and two people that can be in love. You've seen it on a show that happened before. They can break your heart, they can make you laugh, they can have all sorts of relations that can really hit you in the feels, just like Rocky does throughout the series here. A real couple for kind of the new generation here, and I believe she's all that was originally Cook, so I was confused by that part.
Time. All right. Judges buying. Give me a thumbs up when you guys are ready, and then I'll bring you on.
Henry, my bad.
Sorry. That's why I stick to my guns because I'm always right. So it just makes it easier.
No, I don't want to go back and say you're wrong.
All right. So we'll go ahead and start with me. This one's an interesting one because obviously whenever you have a new prompt, it's hard to get the wrinkles out. Obviously to set the tone. It's gonna sound ironic because me and JPO were just arguing a second ago, but he actually shot himself in the foot in his closing by saying Stavros and Sam J would be a spoof. And when the prompt is satire, regardless of how the approach went, I felt like that just kind of put the crown on it for Tato. I might have went JPO at the end, but him literally saying it would be a spoof, I had to go with Tato because that fits a satirical, prompt. So I went with Tato. Literally, ironically, JPO gave him that point in my estimation. Eric.
Going to ask about the satire stuff because there were two different approaches. I already made my vote, so I'm not going to change it. But as a matter of principle, I was more interested in Tato's approach. Like I think if he had made a stronger point as to being the underdog story, how much, on the contrary, Mandy Moore and Milo Ventimiglia wouldn't be in like the more classic, the more executive type of pitch that I wouldn't especially like. But I think JPO's performance is as much of he was much more on the defensive, and he didn't have to do that much of the defense. If Tato had been more like, that probably would be too classical. I would have voted Tato. In principle, I dig Tato's more. I would like to see that more, but I voted JPO.
Okay, and then Chad, point's gonna go to you.
First, I want to say, JPO, don't sweat what you did, because I did the same thing to Alan over at the movie Battleground, and I was like, wait, oh shit, this is not my time. Anyways, I actually went with Tato here. Reason being, because I was very confused. I saw the question, and then I heard the satire, and I was like, wait, okay, so we have to frame it as a satire, and I was just a little bit confused for the whole round. But then, when I thought about that, I was like, well, I think like Tato's casting is very unconventional and strange, but like I think he kind of sold it as far as like a true underdog story, and I actually would like to see in a satire how they would do something like that. Although I would love to also see JPO's thing. I think they were just kind of pitching to a different question, and I think JPO pitched like the one that Hollywood would probably actually go with, and that I really want to see, because I also love This Is Us and love those two as a couple, and I think they would crush it. But as like a satire, I was like, I think JPO's is a little more interesting because it's unconventional. So
Tato, but yeah. So essentially, behind the scenes, we talked about it, and it was like, are we answering this as joke answers and then taking it debate seriously or whatever? And essentially, that's what we agreed upon, and then that's kind of how it went. So, all right, first point goes to Tato. Wrong person. All right, so now we're going into our second question. JPO is going to open. Our second question is, what performance in a Kevin Smith directed film is the most Oscar worthy? Again, for the 1 minute, I will be off screen when you begin speaking. The 1 minute timer will.
The performance I went with is Michael Parks in Red State. I think this is the most out of the box Kevin Smith movie that we've ever had. It's the best shot as well. It's the only Kevin Smith movie that I really feel if you truly showed 100 Kevin Smith, no people would even necessarily pull together. This is a Kevin Smith project here. It's shot really differently. It's shot very hardcore, very straightforward. And Michael Parks is the guy you can't take your eyes off of. I mean, he's not alone too. John Goodman's given a fantastic performance here, and the pivotal scene I am talking about is, the end scene where you actually think maybe quite possibly the rapture or something fucking nuts is about to go down, and you start to believe it because you truly believe that Michael Parks believes, and it's riveting. It's absolutely everything you want, and just a character chewing on the scenery, but in the most believable, fantastical kind of way.
The most Oscar-worthy performance in a Kevin Smith film is Jory Adams as Alyssa Jones in Chasing Amy. The scene I've chosen to exemplify this is after Holden confronts Alyssa at the hockey game in the parking lot. Setting the scene up, Holden's just found out about Alyssa's sexual history, including men and not just women, as he previously thought. He pussyfoots around the story until she admits that she blew Rick Darris while Kelly fucked her. We then cut to the parking lot where she rightly tears into Holden for both his approach to the subject and the fact that her sexual history is none of her fucking business. How fucking dare he not have a problem with her sleeping with half the women in New York City, but have some stupid objection to some bullshit, stupid high school sex. It is pure raw emotion pouring out of her, screaming, crying, punctuated by one giant fuck as she collapses against the car and Holden leaves her. It's a spot we've all been in, lost, regret, whether we did anything wrong at all. It's real time.
All right. As always, 5 minutes when the first person begins.
I thought you were gonna pick African reboot.
Yeah. All right. So the thing here is you could watch Michael Parks take a shit for 90 minutes and it would be an Oscar-worthy performance. Conversely, Joey Lauren Adams is giving the performance of her lifetime.
kind of an unfair thing. Yeah, that shows you that my guy's just that much more riveting. And yeah, she's good in this scene here. But I think overall, when you think about the rest of the performance here, it's not a very layered performance here. And I think you just kind of helped prove that with Michael Parks,
I mean,
who truly gets to rivet you throughout the movie in several scenes.
yeah, I'm gonna disagree with you on that because Michael Parks, while good, it's a one note performance. He's the psycho Jesus guy the whole movie. With Chasing Amy, with Alyssa Jones, we see laughter, crying, like love, hate, the whole gamut of human emotion.
Even in Red State, you do see moments where he is much more chill and he's with his kind of, I don't want to say clan because that sounds wrong, but like, you do see him throughout and have levels. And then like the last scene that I'm talking about, which is the pivotal Oscar worthy scene, like he gets to that even next level where he truly thinks it's about to go down, which is again even a different level than what before when he's doing a ceremony. Yours is a girl. Yeah, we see a girl have some fun, and she's giving some fun dialogue about eating people out and whatnot, and like that's fun and all. But I also don't want to go too much into like the weeds. But like, I don't see the Oscars ever really giving her that shout out. Like, how do you even clip that into the show as a clip?
I mean, it would be as easy to clip in as spewing hatred about God hates what have you.
You can find several clips throughout it that where he
exactly, and there's plenty of soft scenes in Chasing Amy too, so that's another point.
Yeah, I'm saying,
the point I was making about Michael Park's performance in Red State is that he doesn't even actually give a better performance in Red State than he does Tusk. Tusk is, yes, the more absurd movie, but Michael Parks performance-wise is very much on the same level. I also think Michael Parks is better in his Tarantino performances, even though they're
shorter. First of all, the Tarantino, exactly. No, first of all, that's completely unfair to say his Tarantino performances are better. This is so much more meat on the bone. This is the stuff you get nominated for. Tarantino stuff you get noticed for.
Well, yeah, you can't get, like, you don't
and I'm so confused how you're trying to hold it against my guy that he's so great in other things. Like, well, Joey Lauren Adams has never shown us. I'm sorry. The character you see in Chasing Amy is not that much different than the Big Daddy character. It's not that much different from Clay Pigeons.
No, I can't speak to Clay Pigeons, but
fluffy girl. Like, that's just what Joey Lauren Adams has, and she has a nice pinhold on that.
Yeah, but you don't see any depth. There's no depth to the character in Big Daddy. Like, she is just Adam Sandler's side piece. She is the main character.
No, you know who she is. She's a lawyer, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, but you just chat on Michael Parks for not having, Michael Parks and Tarantino for not having as many lines either. So,
but I'm not saying that's bad or anything. I'm just saying, like, I do feel. My point is, Joey Lauren Adams and Big Daddy, Clay Pigeons, that hell, even Michael with Travolta. I don't ever feel like we're seeing levels here. Michael Parks, even when he's got one scene in Django, is not the same cat you see in Tusk, is not the same cat you see in From Dusk Till Dawn, is not the same cat you see in Red State, the one I'm nominating for. I think he has so much more meat on the bone as a character, as Houston monologues throughout the whole film too.
I mean, yeah, he literally just has more to do, but I don't think his performance is just at that level, which is fine. As far as the award circuit and what they considered, like, given nominated roles, Joey Lauren Adams won several Most Promising Actress Breakthrough Performance type awards from smaller scales. She was at least nominated for the Golden Globe. Michael Parks won one Best Actor from the Sitges Catalonia International Film Festival. So even the award circuit in the 90s recognized Joey Lauren Adams more than they recognize Michael Parks now. And this is after everyone hated the shit out of Mallrats and no one was doing Kevin Smith any favors. This is all on Joey Lauren Adams' performance.
Even Kevin Smith has admitted in the past that he had hopes for someone like Mark Parks. I've never heard Kevin Smith. He's mentioned that maybe the screenplay, but he has never mentioned that Chasing Amy and Adams had any hope here. And we could go all day into the weeds of like, well, they got a Golden Globe here, there, but not an Oscar here. Like, there's plenty of outliers like Mark Wahlberg in Departed and so many more where the Oscars see something that other people unfortunately had missed. And even Kevin Smith had some hope that Parks might get some love.
Yeah, I mean,
all right. We're going to start with JPO, and then Tato is going to close. So JPO, 1 minute when you begin.
Joey Lauren Adams is and kind of an ever girl, who's lived a little bit of a life here, and that's fine. And it's a good scene, but again, I don't think anyone even that year was like, oh man, she got snubbed. Well, I do think there are a lot of people Michael Parks was talked about here on a snub list of like, man, if someone could get nominated in a Kevin Smith movie, something that me and Tato would love to see, we had hope that year, unlike Chasing Amy. You know what I mean? Like maybe that could squeeze in for screenplay, but nobody ever really thought Joey Lauren Adams had a shot. People felt like Michael Parks truly had a shot here, and he even admitted that like he has kind of the roles where he also could have got it because not only was he great in this, he's coming off of other things that he's been great and noticeable in. Well, Jordan Adams has always kind of played similar-ish roles here. Michael Parks has killed it in multiple times, where I think this was finally the movie where it's like, holy shit, this dude has a shot, and it's worthy, too. Nobody would have ever said, oh, this is just a legacy award if he had been nominated. People said, finally, Michael Parks gets some love because he is iconic and so memorable, even still to this day.
I think if you're going to bring up the awards thing and then just be like, well, people thought this, like, I think having solid evidence of, well, people actually thought this is why she had an actual nomination and won actual awards, I think is a little stronger than just, oh, Kevin Smith felt this. And as much as I love Kevin Smith's feelings, that's me saying that. Fucking I'd also argue that Joey Lauren Adams has the tougher acting challenge. The hardest thing to act as is just a natural person. I think it's a little easier to step outside yourself and play the evil hate monger than it is to capture the gamut of human emotion that Joey Lauren Adams does as Alyssa in like throughout the entirety of the film. Yeah, he like Michael Parks has quieter moments, but like the crotchety old guy isn't always yelling and screaming. Sometimes he's just quiet and pissed. It's still the same one note. Whereas, like I said, we get just beautiful laughter from her, this crying, screaming, emotion, love, everything, wide range.
And time. All right, judges down below, give me a thumbs up when you guys are ready to get brought in. Deliberation, we will start with Chad and then Eric. Okay. Start with Chad and then Eric. Or no, Chad and then me. All right, Chad, start off with you.
Yeah, no, this one that was actually like really close the whole time. It really came down to the closings because I felt like JPO and Tato were doing a really great job like selling their own and fighting back against the other one. It's just really really close up until the end. And then who sold me at the end with their finishing is Tato. Reason being is because I don't know. I feel like a lot of the stuff that JPO was talking about, especially there at the end, Tato was just like slamming everything down, just basically talking about how Joey Lauren had like a lot more stuff to do as far as like an acting challenge, and just that she actually did have some like support behind her, just not an Oscar and not just like kind of like word of mouth, here and there. And I thought that was a really compelling, and the fact that like earlier in the round, Tato was, like delivering some lines and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, I do remember that scene. And I can, recall that. I haven't actually seen Red State, but I have heard a lot of other people say the similar things that JPO has said. So I totally get both. And I see where they're coming from. But Tato, I think, was just a tad stronger in his actual debate.
Yeah, for me, this one was tough. Similar to what Chad said, it was literally back and forth the entire time. When I show you my point tally, it's literally just a 1 point difference, and also was the closing. At the very beginning, it was one of those uphill battles where on paper I was like, oh no, did I mess up the writing? Should I said in a comedy? Because they're just imbalanced in the argument, similar to the first one where they're just kind of arguing two different things. Is one actually being satirical and one being a snub. And then Tato started off, and he was kind of just describing why the script was good, and JPO hit him on that. But then Tato came back with the evidence of like, oh, there's nomination on stuff, and then JPO was like, well, none of that stuff, that's all what ifs, so yada yada. But then Tato was like, well, if you're also going to say people said Parks was snubbed, then literally Joey Lauren Adams was snubbed because she was also recognized. So that once again, like Chad said, the closing, I literally 1 extra point to Tato, so I went with Tato. Eric, what did you think?
Yeah, so it was also pretty close on my end. I haven't seen Red State, so I'm at a disadvantage at that, but I heard good things, especially from Michael Parks. I think both performances in their respective decades were very likely to be nominated. Like if you see the past of the Best Supporting Actor nominations around that time, like Javier Bardem was just nominated, Christoph Waltz was nominated. Like that type of performance usually gets nominated. But in the 90s, also a character like Elisa Jones normally gets nominated. If you see like Woody Allen movies, like they are filled with characters like that, and mostly the actresses get nominated for that type of roles. So I think it would be impossible. And yeah, also I was just looking forward to the closing to see what the argument was going to be. And I also went with Tato because he went with the proof, and he the strongest argument JPO had at the end was that Kevin Smith probably believes more that Michael Parks deserved it. But that if you want to get technical, that's called a fallacy, the authority fallacy. If you want to go in there, and I'm glad Tato pointed out. If Tato hadn't pointed it out, I might have given it to JPO. But Tato, yeah, but it was pretty close.
Yeah, definitely good back and forth. All right, going into question 3, which is going to be another interesting one. This one is in the category of Ryan Johnson, which I haven't mentioned on the other ones. Category Ryan Johnson and casting. Who would you cast as in a Benoit Blanc prequel? So we're going to be starting with Tato here. 1 minute whenever you begin.
All righty, folks. Hear me out on this one. 2 words. Tom Holland, fucking Southern accent detective. You with me? Yeah, I know you're with me. Fucking, we've seen Tom, I think, so what I think we need to do if we're doing the Benoit Blanc character and we're going to treat him as a character that gets played by multiple actors is we definitely have to keep him as a British actor every time in the like to honor James Bond in that light. So we already know Tom Holland can play American. It's not an issue for him, and I think he can probably do Southern as well because he's just that fantastic of an actor. I think Craig and Holland kind of have a similar look. Like they've got the very distinct eyes. Holland's face is a little fuller now as a youth. So I think seeing Tom Holland run around as a detective with a Southern accent would just be fantastic.
All right, guys, hear me out real quick. Roman Griffin Davis. It's Jojo Rabbit, y'all, with a Southern accent. Am I right? So, Tom Holland's cool and all, but Roman Griffin Davis, I think, showed a lot of warmth, a lot of heart, and also showed a lot of inquisitivity that I think you would need in a prequel here. Plus, we could truly do a fun prequel here because my guy is also about 10 years younger. And I think that's what we want to do. We don't want somebody that's, 20, 30 years, a little bit younger. We also want someone that we can really kind of get lost into the moment here. I think Holland would kind of shove the spotlight too much on him. I think Griffin Davis was already showed that he's fantastic in an ensemble lineup here, can add to the comedy and the charm that I think you want from this character here. He's got that inherent inquisitivity and charm you need for a Benoit Blanc. The wide-eyed, interested, kind of getting everything. You could see kind of him finally piecing things together and maybe stumbling at first because this is a prequel.
In time. All right, and so just to give you guys something to talk about because I feel like you guys are going to talk just essentially about the actors. Give it just a if you didn't prep or anything, it's this is just me saying this, giving you an opinion. If you guys want to give a little bit of story of what your prequel is, just to like have something to talk about. If not, you guys just talk about the actors, however you want to go about it. But 5 minutes is a long time, so I figure I was throw that out there as a suggestion. 5 minutes whenever first person.
That's why I was talking slowly, so time runs out quicker. No, as I was kind of getting to towards the end there, I think what would be fun about my guy is this isn't Benoit Blanc next level. I've done this shit. This is the fun prequel of him figuring his shit out, and that's kind of what I think would lend. That's why Jojo Rabbit's Roman Griffin Davis would be perfect because he showed that he can be this wide-eyed, figuring stuff out kind of kid, and I want him to stumble. I want him to fall. I want him to even maybe be wrong about the killer at first and slowly figure things out. And I think you could truly get lost into this prequel here.
Alrighty. You did touch upon the ensemble cast nature and the inquisitiveness. Yeah, no, it's not like Tom Holland can be in a huge ensemble cast or anything. We've never seen that.
No, name one.
It's not
No,
like
just name
Spider-Man's a super inquisitive character or some
First of all,
crazy.
Spider-Man is not that big, and it's actually mostly cameo filled here. So I think Jojo Rabbit's a way better example of a Knives Out like movie than a Spider-Man, which is pretty much Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Spider-Man. The villains are kind of secondary and barely in it. Like, no, I think Jojo Rabbit's a perfect example of him being able to suffice the story while also not trying to just hog the entire story. I think Uncharted. Tom Holland took over. The Spider Man obviously takes over because it's his film and whatnot. I think you get lost into it a lot more.
Oh, when you mentioned Spider-Man, 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 literally, we've seen how well he can act as an ensemble with two other Spider-Men, and they like
That's
he
not
doesn't
a
over.
I'm talking ensemble as in like 8 to 10 people and being able to juggle it.
Yeah, but then there's also plenty of others. Like you've got the Sinister Six. That movie balances the member berries and
glorified cameos. You can't qualify Sandman and the Lizard as like real characters versus like a Sam Rockwell and even like
Doctor Strange is a real character in that movie. If we're gonna have to do the list, all three Spider-Man, MJ, Ned, all have agency. Green Goblin,
I didn't
Jamie
necessarily
Foxx.
see him though. All right, we're just in the weeds. Okay, they could do two ensembles, but I don't necessarily see the inquisitiveness of a detective here. I think everyone else kind of helped him around it here, where I think JoJo was kind of his own cat. Like he really had no one he could trust, and that's kind of what you would find more similar in a Knives Out story is kind of having to be on your own because you're stuck in usually a place where it's like everyone's a suspect here. Spider-Man had he had his friends, he had Aunt May, he had all that stuff here. I think Davis has shown that he can be in an ensemble where it's kind of him, kind of solo for a big part of it.
That's fair. And you said he took over Uncharted as well, so we know Tom Holland can take over. Tom Holland,
but I also think
can take over.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Yeah, he can. I think Tom Holland can take over when needed and lay back when needed, just as well as Roman Griffin.
But Uncharted, unfortunately, is a good bad example. Uncharted's the perfect bad example here. It just got greenlit for a sequel here because we didn't see Nathan Drake. We saw Tom Holland as Spider-Man, as whatever that Uncharted character was. Like, he didn't play a new character here. He played a dude. Roman Griffin Jr. Davis has proven, and between this and you probably haven't seen it, but a very really cool horror film called Silent Night, like has proven that he's kind of a character actor here. And I feel like Holland, unfortunately, has found a shtick similar to like a Ryan Reynolds in a different way and has just worked it here.
Just out of curiosity, is Roman Griffin Davis playing American in that thing you just... Have we seen Roman Griffin Davis play American at all?
Yeah, in Silent Night, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And he's an actor. I mean, just like Tom Holland can do it, there's no...
I mean, there are actors. There are actors who can play certain accents, and there are actors who can't.
Those British cats are really good, man.
Yes, British actors are really fucking good.
Well, we both went Brits.
Yeah, no, I think that's the most important thing here is you got to keep the Brit.
Got to keep the British.
And I just see and as far pushing back on doing the 20, Daniel Craig is in his 50s. So I think going back,
my guy does have another 10 years is all I'm saying, where I think that's a more fun prequel idea than a guy in his 20s and 30s. You could do him at his very early 20s, if not even, because right now he's 17. Like you could truly have a fun prequel here, where your guy has to be late 20s.
I think I would want to see the year one Batman more than the Bruce Wayne becoming Batman version of this story with the Benoit.
All right, we're gonna have 1 minute from Tato when you begin.
Yeah, I just think Tom Holland has a little more acting in common with Daniel Craig than Roman Griffin Davis does. We've both we've seen them lead franchises, and so when you put them back in that in this quirky role, I think it would work. Roman Griffin Davis, young, innocent, but I just think that the whole ensemble thing is null and void because Tom Holland works great in ensembles. We've seen Spider-Man be inquisitive. We've seen him do detective spy shit with the drones and Far From Home. We've seen him work in smaller, like we've seen him work on his own, like in the early Spider-Man work. We've seen him in the Avengers work with the ensemble cast. And I just think like seeing him run around as that sharp dressed detective, gay, Southern accent would be very fun.
Tom Holland has found a nice niche and has really done well. I mean, similar to his brother in that one movie, Chris Pratt, similar to Ryan Reynolds. But again, I don't feel we've seen these very fun character actor moments of him. Roman Griffin Davis, made you believe, you know what I mean, in Jojo Rabbit that he was talking to Hitler, that he was figuring out good from bad, and that's why he instantly came to mind for a Knives Out, because this showed the inquisitive, almost detective like nature of figuring out who's good, who's bad, and he stumbles, he falls, he blows himself up at the beginning of that. I want to see that here. I want to see a fun prequel of the first time he fell in love with detective work here, and I think he get really lost in his inquisitiveness, his earnestness, maybe even falling in love for the first time. You know what I mean? Like, that could fumble, like, and I think he would really be in it. Where I think Tom Holland, you'd just be watching Tom Holland, just like Uncharted. You weren't watching Nathan Drake, you were watching Tom Holland. Here, you could truly be lost into who Benoit Blanc is.
And time. All right. This one's tougher for me because I know information that the other two judges don't know. So I was judging this, differently. Thumbs up. They don't know what I mean, and I can see in the background they're doing their own thing. All right. I'm gonna start since I do know other things. I don't want to be the deciding factor.
You wouldn't be anyway. Your vote is written. That's not how that goes.
No, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm at a disadvantage of this only this one because I went in with a certain view thinking it was going to be easy, and it ended up not being easy because JPO was just hammering home. There was a long, unnecessary tangent of can't handle ensembles, which is just wrong. But it was just 2 minutes of wasted time talking about it, so we didn't get nothing from either side for 2 minutes. I almost threw up a banner of all right, let's move on, but you guys eventually did. The inquisitiveness of Jojo, that guy, that was good. Knocking down the Uncharted thing, that was really good. I'm barely. It should have been a slam dunk for JPO, but I'm barely gonna go JPO, barely. But I feel guilty about it because it should have been easier based on the information I know. But that's why it was so hard for me. I'm this should have been easier. So I'm talking out loud. Chad, your actual unknowingly thoughts, regular thoughts. Trust me, there's very rarely when you know things that you shouldn't know in a debate, and this is just one of those few things where it's that sucks. But anyway, at least I'm being honest. I'm being transparent of why this was hard. Chad.
Okay, I still don't know what Henry's talking about.
But I don't want you to know until later. So we'll tell you later.
I wouldn't. I'd just stop talking about it.
Yeah.
So, this one was it was like the last one. I think it was very even. I mean, they both picked very similar actor types, young white British people. So I kind of wanted to see both of those movies, to be honest. But I'll just say who I picked. I went with JPO as well, just because I don't know. It's one of those things where Tato pitched, I think, the movie that they probably would actually make, because of Tom Holland's stardom and all this stuff, and they're giving Nathan Drake, and they probably would make him a young Benoit Blanc. And then thinking about JPO's pick, when he first pitched it, I was like, that little kid from Jojo Red. And then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, he's 17 now. This would be different to see him on screen when he's not a little child. I like JPO's shots there at the end when he basically was every time we've seen Tom Holland kind of recently in something, he's kind of been just samey a lot of the times and a lot of different things. And Nathan Drake, we don't really see Nathan Drake. We just see Tom Holland trying to be Nathan Drake. So that felt like a pretty good point. But it was very, very, very close. I almost went with Tato, and then I was like, you know what? I feel like JPO's picks is a little tad more nuanced. And
See, that's why I feel guilty. The fact that even Tato's in consideration for this, but I still won't say why. Eric, what is your thoughts?
Yeah, I actually thought the ensemble piece, the discussion there would have been more interesting if Tato had picked a better movie to compare the ensemble acting, because the one you probably should pick is Infinity War, where Spider-Man is not the lead character, but he doesn't get overshadowed by the other characters. He's a part of an ensemble as opposed to No Way Home, which is he is pretty much the lead. And I also wish Tato had probably said a similar thing to Jojo Rabbit, because Jojo Rabbit, as being the kid, he's actually more supported by them as opposed to being like the one investigating the stuff, but he didn't say that, so it doesn't matter. What else? What else was supposed to say? Yeah, I wasn't as no offense to Tato, it wasn't as difficult to me. I think JPO had the better pitch. I think he had the better attacks towards Tom Holland, as Chad said. Like Tom Holland recently cannot put himself in a previous role. That Nathan Drake is a well-known role in the video game realm, and he didn't commit himself to actually play Nathan Drake. He played Tom Holland in Uncharted, and I haven't seen the movie, so he convinced me of that. Also, yeah, he made a better pitch as to why Roman Griffin Davis is much better than an ensemble, even if I think there were holes in it, but Tato didn't went for the kill, as you said, and Tato gave him the agreed with him in a lot of stuff, so it kind of made it easier for JPO to advance there. He didn't even have to defend his position more. He just had to attack Tom Holland, which is, to be fair, it's easier because he has a more prominent role in cinema today. So yeah, JPO totally won this one for me. I don't even have notes for Tato. Sorry, Tato. I mean,
I don't have notes for Tato either, motherfucker.
Tell them why this was so hard for me.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't seen any of these. I didn't want to ruin them by prepping. So yeah.
So well, and I'm trying to defend JPO here. Like he didn't really get to go into any plot details describing like examples of why. So like ultimately he didn't really sway me on why his choice was good. So he only had knocks on that. But it's like I hate that from like debate only knocking without building up. So that's why it was tough for me. But I just like I said, I didn't want to be biased by that. So it's like that was tough. That was really hard. All right, now we're back to a regular schedule program of normal prep questions. Final question of the prepped, and that is we're going to start with JPO, and that is, what is the funniest scene in a Jim Carrey comedy? Both answers were accepted, so we're not going to go into some answers of like what's a scene versus blah blah blah. So we're just going to describe what they describe, and then if they overdo it, that's why I don't want to go scene sequence. Trust me, I've watched enough of these that could happen. So what was accepted. So whatever you describe, hopefully you just describe what's in your scene. So with that said, JPO, 1 minute when you begin.
I literally just have to show you a prop, and you'll know what Jim Carrey scene I'm talking. That's a black pen, but the pen is blue. Liar, liar, fun, unique premise of little boy who wishes his dad couldn't lie, and he's trying to prove himself. It's kind of early in the film here that, let me just lie, even about the color of the pen. And what's great about this scene here is it's everything you want in a classic Jim Carrey, a classic comedy scene, because it is physical, it is funny, it is on the face, it is in the words, it is just everything you want here. It is instantly rewatchable. This movie's been on television since I was 7, and I still, if I see it, I will go back, or even if I catch it later, I'll go rewind and go back to this scene here. It is iconic. Again, you Google the pen it's coming up right away because it has stood the test of time as just being such a memorable scene. Liar, liar. But I lied.
In other news, the Prime Minister of Sweden visited Washington, and my tiny little nipples went to France. The White House Reception Committee greeted the Prime Rib Roast Minister, and I do the cha-cha like a sissy girl. I like a do the cha-cha. The funniest scene in a Jim Carrey comedy is Evan's broadcast from Bruce Almighty. You get not one, but two comedic geniuses, both performing in their own style with the Jim Carrey wackiness and the Steve Carell delivering nonsensical lines with the straight face comedy. On top of seeing them both do what they do best, you literally get to see how powerful they both are when Jim Carrey uses Steve Carell as a conduit to act through. The work that they both do in that scene, combined with the reactions of the people around them, make for a genuinely funny scene. It's also got farts. Farts are fucking hilarious, whether you like it or not.
All right. 5 minutes when the first person begins.
What you just said was funny. but I do find it pretty telling that I just show you a problem. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You can't deny that. It took you about 3 sentences before I was like, oh yeah, it's the Bruce Almighty thing. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's funny, it's cute. It did, you know what I mean? But like it's also it's definitely Carell's performance. I won't try to beg on that too much here, but Carrie's just off to the side making it happen here. Carrie's not even the funny part about it here. It's not really two comedic powerhouses going back and forth. It's Carell selling it in a funny, wacky way here. But again, I don't think this scene stands anywhere near the test of time as mine.
It does show them both because it cuts back and forth, and there are moments when Carrie has to be mouthing exactly what Carell is doing. The work that they had to put in for Carrie to shine through Steve Carell, the way like when Carell is doing the wacky shit, that's not Steve Carell.
You're
that's
not
Jim
really
Carrey.
laughing though when Carrie's doing it. You might be smirking, going like, "Oh, okay, I get the premise here," but it's Carell the one who's maybe getting the laughs here. And again, like I don't. I think maybe because also the movie's more mediocre and whatnot, but it's not really a scene I think I many people really go back to. It's a highlight of the movie here, of this particular movie, but it's not. I don't think it's a top fiver for Jim Carrey. I don't think that's memorable.
Well, it's funny that you mention how often people go back to that because I, of course, have those statistics. The Movie Clips YouTube channel for Evan's broadcast has 7.3 million views. The Binge Society channel has 8.6 million views. For the Pen is Blue, the Movie Clips channel has 8 million views, but there isn't a second video that even does anything other than barely scratch 100K. So twice as many people are going back.
What are you talking about?
Evan's broadcast.
Are you purposely leaving shit out, Tato? How many views does your thing have? I'm sorry, your iconic scene.
There's one video with 7.3 million views. There's one video with 8.6.
That's funny because if you go to, I'm looking right now in Fandango Movie Clips, I'm looking at over 8 million for The Pen is Blue. So
yeah, that's 8 million. Yeah, 8 million is less than 8.6 million plus 7.3 million.
Wait, you're going okay? So now you're going off multiple sites.
Yeah, I'm saying there's two.
My thing is more than either of yours, but now okay, you want me to add it up? Okay, sorry, we gotta do that. Let's see here, another 47K. There's another one that's 18K. There's a fourth one that's 110K. There's a fifth one that's 129K. There's a sixth one that's done by a different actor. That's three. There's a seventh one. I'm pretty sure if we do
Move on.
it's the right one. I guess we have to move on. I don't know. I can't hear you. I guess pause that. Oh.
Okay, my headphones did die.
I hear you now.
Okay, shit. Sorry, my headphones died.
There you go.
I'll add 30 seconds. Starting now, but get away from all that. You guys made your point, went back and forth.
I saw you yelling. I got it. We got it, Henry. We got it. Come. We got you. I'm letting Tato go because I don't know what it is.
All right. Yeah, no. Anyway, Evan's broadcast is genuinely funny in a real life situation. It'd be a top tier viral video if that happened in reality. The Pen is Blue, however, it would either A, be seen by nobody, which is just a Tato level of humor at best. B, if there were video of it, it would just be sad. You would say that dude needs help.
He has godlike abilities. How are you using real life statistics right now? He has godlike abilities to make that happen. So yeah,
and there's also it's a supernatural wish that is making this happen too. So the supernatural element doesn't matter.
And I'm just saying, your point doesn't make any sense. That shouldn't be any kind of clarification. If someone had a video, if there's security footage of Jim Carrey freaking out, that would also go viral. So I'm confused by that argument.
No, you would see that and say that dude needs help.
And you would
Jim Carrey does
the same thing for Steve Carell.
The better, anyway, right? Jim Carrey does a better possessed hand bit with the claw in Liar Liar. The claw is the better possessed hand bit.
The claw is just cute.
It has heart. It's not weird and sad.
It's not as funny and hard.
And we see what happens. Yeah, no, we
grasping at straws.
And we also see what happens with the claw when it falls in the lesser hands of Carrie Ellis. I think with the Pen is Blue, anyone if that is funny, then anyone. I don't think it's inherently Jim Carrey. I mean, yes, that is Jim Carrey's brand, but we get if you like that wackiness, you get that and more in Evan's broadcast.
I do that. For instance, the lines you just said, You just did it, Tato. And no offense, you're a good actor. You did it as good as Carell did just now because it's in the lines here. You need an actor that's also practically funny, physically funny. That's what sells the scene here. That is a way smaller class of actor to sell the pen is blue scene. Because again, on paper, what do you think the script said? Go crazy, try to make it say red, try to say like it's not in the paper. Yours is in the lines. Yours is inherently kind of cute and funny, and because he's messing with Evan, who's kind of a dick so far in that movie here. And that's what's funny here. It is all about the performance. It's all about you need a Jim Carrey here. No offense, David Koechner in your role is cool. Paul Rudd in your role would have been fine. Jake Tato would have been sweet. Like you need a Jim Carrey level like actor for mine.
Sorry, I forgot we were still in the opening. I thought this was your closer.
Wait, was it?
No, I messed up. You're good. That's all right. It's 10 seconds. It's all gravy. That's fine.
I love you guys so much, but I'm definitely glad this isn't the pilot debate. All right, we're going to start with JPO. I'm pretty sure 60 seconds. I couldn't remember which. Notes.
That's why I was like, "Who?"
Yeah. I was like, when I went down, I was at that was the order. So yeah, 60 seconds. I love you guys, but oof.
We're getting there. Both these are funny here, and I do think your scene is maybe the funniest of that movie here. But again, that's a scene I don't think many people are going back to because it's cute. It's kind of fun. It's definitely Steve Carell's performance here. But again, it's a performance I think many people could do. It's a funny kind of comeuppance of kind of a dick character who's being forced to do something, and now he gets to look like a fool here, and then you move on. My thing again, you go to YouTube, it's acted by other people. It's uploaded 20 times here. It takes a certain level of actor here. It's not just the lines. There pretty much are no lines. It's literally like go crazy with a pen here. And it's almost like Buster Keaton like levels here. It's old school. It's physical. It's in the face. It's a scene. You're excited for that scene. You know when it's coming. It's excited. We made the joke on trivia with the pen being blue, like red. Like it's a scene is coming here that's performed by a next level actor here that not many could pull off, if anyone else.
Alrighty, you threw out that it's been uploaded 20 times, but all those uploads don't have half as many views as Evan's broadcast does when it comes down to the view count. Any which way. Again, the Pen is Blue is just a one-note Jim Carrey scene. You get the same Jim Carrey wackiness in Evan's broadcast as you do in the Pen is Blue, but you also get different types of humor as well. Like I said, it is not one, but two comedic geniuses. And it's not just Jim Carrey being there off to the side. It is him matching Steve's voice. It is literally Jim throwing through Steve, bouncing back to Jim. It's that level of hilarity. And the viral, I think we've seen clips of viral psycho people. I think the news anchor clip is more funny and just in general funny in real life, whereas this one's situational. It's not the funniest Jim Carrey scene. It is the funniest scene in a Jim Carrey movie. So the fact that it is Steve Carell as the lead doesn't matter.
And time. I love you guys. Thumbs up behind. You guys can let me know when you guys are ready. Okay. We're gonna start with Eric, and then me, and then Chad will be the decider. So, he's the third. Eric, start off.
Yeah, the last time you brought up data for the Kevin Smith one really worked for you. This time probably didn't. I had to leave when you were discussing that because to me it's irrelevant. So I'm glad you moved on eventually. Yeah, move on. Sorry. Yeah, I think I was waiting for Tato to say the final thing he said in the closing. The question, if you want to be pedantic, is a funny scene in a Jim Carrey comedy, not exactly a funny scene involving Jim Carrey. So thankfully it was brought up at the very end. But the closing statement by Tato kind of focused a little bit more on the virality of the stuff, whereas JPO's closing statement, probably the more important argument of his, is the iconicity of the scene, how important Jim Carrey is in it, how different prop comedy and all the special things that Jim Carrey brought to the scene as opposed to, and especially I don't agree with him in the sense that anyone could replace Steve Carell, because Steve Carell is great in that scene and I love that scene as well. I knew what Tato was talking about as soon as the first sentence came up because I'm familiar with the scene. Obviously, same with the pen scene. That's immediately. But I think JPO made a stronger point as to why this scene is funny and why Jim Carrey is great in it, why it's more iconic, even if I think both of them are iconic. So I went with JPO.
All right, and then for me, both of them kind of went on tangents of things that like I get like their approach, but similar to when I debate, sometimes it just doesn't work for you as judge. In this case, like Tato going with these stats of like the video views stuff, like I get you say it once, you the point if it gets refuted, whatever, and then JPO kind of was sticking home of like it's like slapstick. And you know, some slapstick doesn't always work for people. Like specifically, slapstick doesn't work for me. So I didn't really get more of why his scene was funny outside of that. And Tato also rebutted that of like, well, there's also slapstick in mine as well as the lines. And JPO was like refuting like, oh, it's lines and stuff. And I just, you know, comedy is lines. So that never worked for me. So I just didn't get enough of why JPO's was funny. I swear, JPO, in other debates, I'm going to vote for you. It just didn't happen this one. And it just is ironic that I yelled at you at the very beginning because it looks bad. But I swear to God, just I know. I'm sorry. It's not a good look.
Biased.
But
it's totally
Chad,
biased.
yeah, exactly. But Chad, it's up to you.
I actually really, really like this round because I actually had a really good time. These are two great scenes that these guys picked. They really brought it. You know, JPO coming out with just holding up the pin, and then I'm being like, all right, I know what you're doing. And then it's like, you know, exactly like, you know, it's an iconic thing. All you got to do is hold up a pin. You know exactly where he's going. But then Tato also brought out like just like straight up lines from it. And when he was reading that just straight, I was laughing my ass off back here. So I thought that was pretty great. Tato bringing up the like the facts from YouTube. Yeah, I didn't think it like held a lot of weight, but I also thought it was really fun. It was really funny when he was like, you know, now that you mentioned that, I have some statistics on my side. That was pretty great. And then yeah, like when it kind of came down to the ends, like I was digging like the back and forth quite a bit. Because I think JPO like has like a really great point about, you know, it's like Jim Carrey really is like the kind of the Buster Keaton of like the modern era. Like he really is that great of a physical comedian. And that scene really does show that quite a bit. And then Tato, you know, coming out with talking about like you have two comic geniuses there in my scene, and stuff like that. So they were both very strong. Ultimately, I decided to end it with Tato. Well, I didn't know it was going to go that way, but I wrote Tato just because he really sold me at the very, very end there with, you know, the fact that the counter of Jim Carrey's actually doing next level stuff in his scene as well. And it's not just him standing in the corner not doing anything. And then you have the two people kind of like going, you know, back and forth and how the scene was shot and stuff. And also I think Tato did a good job at like kind of countering like other really funny scenes in Liar Liar, because I do think it's the funniest like comedy he's ever done. And then the fact that I think JPO even said like that's the funniest scene in your movie. So I'm like, well, it is kind of the funniest scene. So
All right.
maybe it's just really funny.
All right. So with that said, and your winner, Jake Tato. Tato, how you feeling about this overall?
It's tough to feel super duper happy about this one because there are definitely aspects in which I just didn't deserve to win the match. But you know, I thought I did good on the questions. I think they were back and forth questions. I did feel the strongest on the one where I got the sweep. By the way, JPO has the right pick. It is Michael Parks in Red State. That's the correct answer to that question.
Which is why I felt bad I didn't prompt the question as in a comedy. As it was going on, I'm like, shit, this is not a good look. But
yep. So my option was to counter with Michael Parks and Tusk, which I knew I'm not fucking winning a Tusk match, no matter how right I am about it. So my only other option was to shoot like Carlin in Jersey Girl or Joey Lauren Adams in Chasing Amy. And I chose to go for the starring role. Just I figured it'd be a little easier. But genuinely, Joey Lauren Adams probably they both deserve Oscars. Let's be real. I think everyone in this match deserves an Oscar.
There you go. And then my last question for you: you don't have the full roster ahead of you, but being 1-0, is there anyone that you just offhand know that you'd want to debate in the future?
I haven't gotten to get down with Jay yet in anything. He's my boy, so.
There you go. Well, his matchup is going to be against Papa, so maybe if he can beat Papa, maybe I can arrange that for you. All right, going over to JPO. Obviously, losing is never fun. What are your thoughts on me voting not against you at all, or not voting for you at all? I'm willing to call it out. Even my
You gave
own.
him the point.
Oh yeah, that was
Look.
I didn't want to though, and that's why it just doesn't look good. But JPO, overall, what's your thoughts?
Can we movie Battleground to bring in Bergen House? No, I mean, no. Tato had a really good picks, really good arguments. That first question I think was odd because people were voting for all different things, so I kind of feel like that question was bad, or it just should have been brought up differently.
Respectfully, you misunderstood the question, and I didn't want to we'll see how you go about it.
Yeah, exactly. So I lost to myself, and then Chad was voting on something completely different. So that's what I mean. That first one was odd. But Tato brought it in every round and had good picks and had the follow for it.
There you go. All right. Would you want to play like Papa maybe if he loses to Jay? Maybe
Whatever.
just that.
Whatever.
All right. So with that said, my name's Henry Confidential. Shout out Tato. Shout out JPO. Oh, he's so mad he left. Oh, he's got to go do Lonely Mark, so maybe that's why. But shout out Chad. Shout out Eric. You guys are the best. We're going to be doing plenty more of these. This is one of those ones. Fun fact, a little behind the scenes, this was scheduled like a month ago. So I do feel like just emotionally it didn't hit as hard. So sometimes I don't know how it goes. But anyway, my name's Henry Confidential. You guys are you. Later.